let's get to Luka Doncic right now, because Luka Doncic is going through something that I want everybody to really pay attention to, because what he's going through is something that was missed by this generation, missed by most basketball fans right now, and that's why they don't see things straight. But I want y'all to hear right now, because Luka is going through it. They down 0-3 in the finals. You know that it's inevitable. They're going to lose. We know they ain't going to win 4. How you going to win 4 straight? You don't lost 3 straight. Like, they're going to get lucky and win 1 more, the Celtics. So that's why the stat line is, when I say no team ever has come back from an 0-3 deficit in the finals. All right, we know it. But that ain't the conversation right now. The conversation is, whoa, Luka, what's wrong with you? Now I want y'all to listen to how they talking about Luka right now. A brilliant player. They don't even admit he's a brilliant player. But listen to how they talking about him right now. And I'm going to bring all this back to the GOAT conversation. Let's go.
He's been awful defensively in this series. Awful. In fact, there is data and video that illustrates he's maybe the worst defensive player in the finals in a decade. And like all great scorers, when fit hits the shan, he becomes ISO ball guy and doesn't play well with others. The Mavs only had 15 assists last night. They're almost getting doubled in this series in assists. So Luke is an all-time talent, but he's not a late bloomer. He was an all-time talent at 15 years old. He has been lauded. He has been worshipped. And when you're great at 15 until now at 25, he's already been a 5-time All-NBA guy, first team. That's more than Steph. Is he now amenable to change? Is he adaptable? Because to be a champion, Michael Jordan figured this out. You got to look yourself in the mirror. I mean, Michael Jordan looked himself in the mirror and said, I can score 60 and not win titles or trust my teammates. Phil Jackson talked him into trusting his teammates. Michael became a champion. LeBron James was physically elite his first day in the league.
I wanted y'all to hear that Michael Jordan part, and then he about to go to LeBron. Interesting. Michael Jordan and LeBron, what do they have in common? Oh, what sound does it make? Meh. That GOAT conversation. We're going to get back to it, because let's just lay the premise. Luka not playing great, defensively certainly, in these finals, compromising their chances of winning. Fouling out fourth quarter when we need you. We were down big. You helped us come back. We get back, and then you foul out. Okay. We've seen all those beats before, but we still got to bring it back together. Now I want to hear a shorter summation from Brian Windhorst, who's talking about Luka as well. And then we're going to drive this point home. Let's go get it.
Yeah, I thought it was perfect that Luka fell onto the ground there in an unacceptable position to put himself in with 4 minutes left with 5 fouls, and then immediately looks at the bench and says, you better bleeping challenge it, as if it's the bench's fault that he just made a terrible play. I'm standing here in the Mavericks tunnel. Over there is the Celtics tunnel. That's where the winners are. If Luka's ever going to be a winner coming out of this tunnel here, he is going to have to use what's happened in this finals as a learning experience. His defensive performance is unacceptable. He is a hole on the court. The Celtics are attacking him. They are ahead in this series because they have attacked him defensively. And you've got a situation here where Luka is complaining about the officiating. They have begged him. They have talked with him. They have pleaded with him. He is costing his team because of how he treats the officials. He's a brilliant player. He does so many things well. They are here because of how he did. His performance in this game is unacceptable, and the reason why the Mavericks are not going to win. He's got to get over this. And the fact that he came out after the game and blamed the officials showed me he's nowhere close yet. So maybe over the summer somebody will get to him, because nobody with the Mavericks or anybody else in his life has. And that's where the Mavericks are at this point. They're never going to get to this tunnel with the trophy if he doesn't improve those aspects of his game.
Brian Windhorst.
Oh, woo. Okay. All right. Hip-hop turned 50 this year, right? I'm 49 turning 50 this year. So let's just say when hip-hop was born, I was born, right? Now, what does that give me? It gives me a global perspective on hip-hop. Other than the football hits and the lack of recall at times, I know so much hip-hop. You can't go through any of the ways without me like, yep, I know them. Yep, I know that. Yep, I was there. Crazy. Like, I mean, insane. Even when I DJ'd and was out there touring or going out and doing festivals with Kanye, the Outkast, to Run DMC. Like, who else is DJ for Run DMC and Kanye West? Go ahead. You looking at one. Go ahead. Here's the thing. That's global perspective. In today's talk about basketball, GOAT conversations, etc., greatness with Luka, we don't have a global perspective. And I've noticed this. The older I get, this is why you got to talk to the elders, the OGs. Not because they know more than you necessarily, even though they probably do. It's because they just going to give you a perspective. Perspective is not more like we're going vertically. You are here and I'm going deeper. It's not just that. It's laterally as well, right? So I can go deeper maybe on the subject, but I also can offer you more things to think about that same subject. Let's talk this. Because all of this talk, I'm not lying, it triggered me. And I shouldn't say triggered in a negative way, but triggered like recall, go back. I felt this before. I didn't like how this felt before. When Michael Jordan first got on the scene, y'all remember those 6, 7 years before he won his championship? Oh, you don't? Okay, let me help you. It sounded just like that. But here's the thing. It didn't sound like that because there wasn't a Colin Cowherd on television doing radio. There wasn't a Brian Windhorst going around the whole NBA and country every single day to talk about that same Michael Jordan. There wasn't. There was a Ahmad Rashad on Saturday. And there was a Sports Center at night that had to put 18 different sports in 1 hour and put it on repeat. They didn't even do another one. They just kept repeating the same one. And you kept watching the same one, knowing what's happening, and didn't care. So Michael Jordan gets this beginning, and Doc Rivers talks about this. He was allowed, because of the circumstances, to grow into being the GOAT. But boy, do I remember the few times we would get coverage of Michael Jordan in depth. That selfish, would never win, doesn't trust his teammates. Oh man, a liability because all he does is ball hog and iso ball. I was like, damn, this is the same guy that now walk around and say something bad about Michael Jordan. What? So the greater life lesson is, people need to be careful what they're saying because you can always become what you want to be and also become the greatest. Tom Brady, pick 199. I remember talking to coaches. I'm going to leave their names out of it. And Eric Mangini is one who said it on air. Tom Brady wasn't that good when we first got him. They used to place bets on if Tom Brady would make a completion because they were thinking he wouldn't. In practice, coaches used to bet against Tom Brady completing passes. Real talk. Crazy. And now that's the GOAT. Michael Jordan, selfish. Can't. Nope. The GOAT. Luka, getting killed right now. How's it going to turn out? And then you heard Colin mention Michael Jordan, but then he was going to LeBron. And see, this is why LeBron is so challenged in truly being the GOAT. He's so challenged because he was the first social media GOAT in terms of basketball. After Michael Jordan retired, nobody, Facebook, it ain't 05, 06, ain't nobody on Facebook. Michael Jordan, you gone. Who's this LeBron guy? As a rookie, and oh my God, let's go. And here's the thing about human beings, and we all know this, right? Why LeBron's challenged as a first social media GOAT? Because people remember two things the greatest. You think it's what you hear. Nah, we hear too much. we recall it, we retain it, but move. You know what? It's what you see and what you write down. What you see and what you write down. And all those people that got Post-its all on their refrigerator, all in their bathroom, all on their mirror, it's because it's what you see and what you wrote down. Social media has got us to a position where not only did we see the game, but we wrote down what we thought, And we know how social media leans and is inclined to take you to the negative, or at least what you receive is the negative. Bam, that's what you get. Yeah, Luka's brilliant. He's brilliant. He's brilliant. But they just spent 4 minutes, not many flowers. And I get it. That ain't what you're supposed to do. And that's what you did to Michael Jordan. That's what you did to LeBron James. That's what you did to Tom Brady. Can Luka get to that level of GOAT status is the conversation. And also the conversation of how we receive information. I love this because there wasn't this level of media back then. There wasn't this level of coverage back then. It wasn't the fact that we now remember Michael Jordan first 7 years, we forget it. Go to a barbershop and talk about Michael Jordan in a negative way. Talk about those first 7 years. Oh man, move. Who next? Right? That's Luka right now. Ain't that crazy? Isn't that crazy? Like the same thing is happening again. That's why there's nothing new under the sun, King Solomon, right? That's why when cats come up to you, you be like, I see in that. I see what that is. And here you go. So the triple OGs out there, like me, who have seen so much, this ain't nothing new. But to a newbie who was like, Luka will never, be careful. Because Michael Jordan, it was happening, but it was a different level. LeBron, it was on 10. And that's why he got the headwind he has in terms of being the GOAT. Luka, I don't even know if this is more than LeBron, but it's just more media. We just gonna hear it more times. But remember, what we hear ain't the same of what we see and what we write down. So stop talking that talk and stop writing down that Luka saw right now, because you're gonna retain that a little different. I thought that was fascinating right there, seeing Michael Jordan kind of escape what LeBron and Luka is going through right now. But that's why everybody got a Jordan sweatsuit on. Velour as well.